everybody. I apologize that it's a little late today. And also, I was going to do a call-in show, but we have stories. And so I thought it was important to cover that news. I'd like to thank everybody for joining me today on a Monday. I got to tell you, like the rest of the world, I'm having a very difficult time getting my schedule done. It's just hard, as I'm sure many of you are experiencing. And I'm not starting my day when I would like to be honest with you. However, I'm going to be real motivated for the next few days. There's a rumor that a Venom 2 trailer is coming out. I think there's reasonable reasons to feel that that it might come out. I checked with my sources. They haven't heard anything. That's not to say they couldn't be surprised. And then there's also some thoughts that maybe there's going to be a Dune teaser with all these new images tomorrow. I have to get up early tomorrow for that anyway because the Dune story today dropped at 7 a.m., which is ridiculous. But tomorrow I'm definitely doing Dune. Dune first look. We have two new members. Hey Kyle, hey C. Marie. So tomorrow I'll definitely be covering the Dune first look and reviewing the Mortal Kombat animated movie. I just got a screener for that, so I'm going to watch it tonight so that I can hit the ground running tomorrow. And then maybe something else will come up. I don't know what's going to happen. Morris, I'm sorry to hear you're unemployed. It's a difficult time. I hope everybody's getting the assistance they need from the government that said it's supposed to do it. All right, so anyway, yes, I'm glad some of you like my hair. I'm trying to figure out how to style it. Hey, Michael, I'm trying to figure out how to style it during coronavirus. I can't go to the salon. As you can see, my color ideally would be touched up a little bit, but I don't know, maybe I'll break down and try and do it myself. But right now, I'm going to be trying some different looks, so it'll be fun. All right, so before we get to, so the way this works is that we do 3 stories for the day, and then at the end, every stream, you can ask me anything you'd like for the final 10 minutes. But before, another tradition is before we get started, I like to see where everybody's tuning in from, so I can give a couple shout-outs and stuff like that. If you have a snack, Terry, that's very nice. I appreciate that. So Jack Carroll is in Tijuana. Oh, that's a great place to be quarantined. Hey, Peter, thanks for joining. Oh, thank you, Philip. That's very sweet of you. I put it on super slow mode so that more people could get comments in, and it's easier for me to see them. And it seems to be working out very well today. Thanks, Czech Film. Fantastic. We are an apocalyptic movie. Luke is in upstate, I guess meaning upstate New York. Hello. Yusuf is editing his movie in Vancouver. Very, very nice thing to be working on. Natasha's doing homework in Kansas. Oh, hey, Joshua Gray's in Seattle. Hey, Emmanuel. Rashid's in Dubai. Hey, Wes, thanks for joining. Oh, it's speeding up now. So much for the slow mode. Oh, no. Young D74 just broke a tooth in the UK. Don't go to the dentist. I talked to someone who went to the dentist right before this was all happening. He said the dentist came out in a full hazmat suit, and it's he wasn't wearing anything, my friend. So just, make it a fashion statement. Hey, Julian. Let's see here. Hey, Daniel. Let's see here. Adam's in Blackpool, England. Chico just finished Killing Eve, so he'll be able to join in the discussion. Alex is in Connecticut. Julian's in Arizona. Yes, James, a lot of new members today. It's fantastic. Yap said, watching Chicago PD Marathon. Excellent. Let's see here. Pyromantic Idiot is upset that someone else got to Salem's Lot. Oh, you opened up today's stream and it was a bad day. I'm sorry. Samir is in Hong Kong. Luis is in Mexico City. Daniel's a new member from Connecticut. Mark's in Atlanta. Becky is writing an essay in Jefferson, Texas. Oh, still working. I like it. David, I'm glad you like my Music Man reference. I was just happy I was able to nail the rhythm. I was real nervous about it. So I'm glad it worked out. I was like, oh, thank God. Thomas is in Cape Town, South Africa. Oh, that's great. I don't think Cape Town's great. I don't think I've ever seen anyone from Cape Town before. Apologies if you've written before and I haven't seen it. Blue Tattoo is at work in Minnesota. Hey, Z-Stack. Good Days is teaching from home in California. That's great. Good for you. Thanks, Kyle. My shirt is from Disneyland. I love this shirt. I thought it was very appropriate for today's Disney story. I'm breaking out some of my home sweatshirts for the videos from home. LaPrince Conyers is in Charleston, South Carolina. I'll do a few more. Zachariah is working from home in Austin, Texas. Utaka is in St. Louis. Let's see here. Isaac's in Phoenix. Jose is in Miami, Florida. Dancing Dark 60s in Boston. And Adam is in Malaysia. Oh, that's great. It's 5 a.m. there, and you took a nap before the show. Oh, Adam, I'm so happy. That makes me feel so nice. All right, so let's get to today's 3 stories. And then, of course, as always, at the end of the stream, you can ask me anything that you would like. I don't have to necessarily answer it, but you can try. All right, so story number 1. I didn't do a video on this on its own because I think people are tired of the stories of movies moving. They're like, yeah, they're all moving, so what? So yeah, another movie moved today. Another day, another delay, as I said recently. And this time Soul, everyone was like, why is Soul still in the middle of June? What are you, crazy, Disney? And today Disney was like, yes, that's unrealistic. And they moved it. Hey, I cannot pronounce your name. Hey, I think it's like Alec, right? Thank you for joining. So anyway, Disney moved Soul to November. And they did the release date shuffle that they've been doing with all their movies, and they just moved their own films. Because Disney has all the best release dates. There aren't any other good ones for them to claim. So they moved Raya and the Last Dragon to March 12th, 2021. So that's actually a pretty good date. The trades were like, hey man, Captain Marvel, Zootopia, those all came out in March. And yeah, sure, Onward just like crashed and burned, but that's just the coronavirus. I think it was partially obviously because of coronavirus, but I think Onward wasn't very well advertised. I mean, the top thing that people say about Onward is, I can't believe that movie was so good. It looked horrible. So our new members from Greece. So that's Greek writing, I assume, and so that's why I'm very bad with foreign languages. I think in French and Spanish I could only get C's. I tried so hard. All right. So anyway. So Raya is taking that March date. I think because it has like a tropical setting, I think that's actually a pretty good date for that movie. And I don't think it was going to be ready anyway. I've told you that I know some people who work at Disney, and they talked about the animation is still able to go on, but it's going a lot slower because it's harder to check the movies. If you want to do sound check and visual checks, it has to be done on a big screen because that's how people are going to watch it, and nobody has that in their home. And Disney can only have so many people inside the animation building at once. So it slowed them down. So they knew that Raya was going to get delayed. So this is what happened. They knew Raya wasn't going to be ready. So they put Onward there. And I agree with Lloyd that Soul is a really great holiday movie. Who doesn't want to talk about death during the holidays? Oh, Pixar. They just had a movie about death. Every movie's about death with them. It's so annoying. All right, so anyway, although when I was watching the Imagineering thing, they said that the point of a ride is to get you right close to feeling like you're going to die, but then you don't. And I'm like, that's not how I ever feel when I go on a ride. So I don't know where that came from. But I guess if it's part of the formula that works. So yeah, and I guess that's part of Pixar's formula that works. So I think that Soul is a very good holiday movie. It has a good warm glow to it. I think it's pretty good. However, I think the real reason they didn't stick it on streaming, a lot of us were like, gimme, 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 I want to watch it now. But I think the real issue is that they want it to be an Oscar contender. I mean, it's about a guy who dies. It's their first person of color as a lead at Pixar. It's just, I think it's like, almost, hey Maria, I think unless like it's a horror, it would have to be such a bad movie not to have a slam dunk in terms of getting, it's an original, it's not a sequel. I think Pixar's pretty set to win that Oscar. And so they would like it to play in theaters. I mean, I think that if theaters still aren't playing movies by November, or people aren't still going, they'll change the rules for what can qualify for an Oscar. But I think, they're going to see if they can wait it out. So I understand moving Soul. However, I do feel that Disney's going to blink on some movies, especially because I just uploaded that video about how much money Trolls made. I thought Trolls would do well, but I never thought it would do that well. That's nuts. That's like, what do we have that we can release on digital well? If you're another studio. You see that headline and you go, $30 million in one day for Trolls? Holy crap. Imagine if it was a movie that a lot of people were interested in. Imagine how well it might do. So, Lisa, Soul is moved to Raya, and it's basically Thanksgiving. It's Raya's date. I'm sorry, I didn't write it down in my notes, because I just was like, it takes the Raya the Last Dragon date. I apologize. But yeah, so I think that some movies will move. Luke, yeah, don't spam Luke. Luke, one warning, I'll put you in a timeout if you do that. Timeout is like 3 minutes, you can't put anything, you can't type anything. But as Glalie Master just said, yes, Glalie, I agree. I think that Mulan is in a really strong position to potentially be a streaming film. Not that it goes on Disney Plus, but that it goes to be a purchase on demand or a rental on demand, like Trolls World Tour was. I think, we'll see what happens with Mulan. Right now it's set for July. I don't think movie theaters are going to make that date. AMC is like this close to going bankrupt. Like any day it's going to go bankrupt. And I think that they're going to have to restructure, and that's going to take a lot of movie theaters off the board as well. So it's going to be a little bit of a difficult situation. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I think that Mulan, I think Black Widow, they're going to try and open that in November because they pushed it. They already made the announcement. I think they'll wait for Black Widow in theaters. I mean, let's see what movie going looks like in September and October before we think about how the holiday movie season's going to be. But I think that Mulan, I don't think they can hold it much longer than July. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if they'll keep pushing Wonder Woman. It's a really difficult situation. And there's no idea. It's very hard to predict because this has never happened before. So that makes it even harder. So do you guys want these movies on streaming after Trolls, or are you like, Trolls was a one-time thing? I think New Mutants should definitely go. I think New Mutants would make more money than it ever would have made in theaters if they put it on purchase on demand. Michael, Mulan is supposed to come out in late July, but I don't know. There's a little bit of a lag, so I gotta wait for you guys to catch up to me. Rune, I'm not sure who would buy AMC. It might be another company. It could be another movie theater company. Ari says, I don't think movie going will return to normal until the end of the year. Yeah, I think even November is a little bit of wishful thinking. Like, what do you want for Christmas or Thanksgiving? Coronavirus? Yeah, Michael, I talked about that at the beginning. There might be a Venom 2 trailer tomorrow. But I think it's real iffy. We'll see. I don't know. I'll cover it if there is. I hope it's not tomorrow, though. I already have enough to do tomorrow. But save it to Wednesday. Yeah, you guys want New Mutants. A lot of people would rather buy the movie for $25 to $30. Yeah, I would too. I think, I thought about it, and I was like, who wants to watch Trolls more than once? And then I was like, do I want to watch Trolls more than once? I had the screener for 48 hours, and I was like, should I watch it again? So I don't know. But I think that that's funny. Yeah, you kind of do feel like maybe you'd like to watch it again because you feel like it's like you only have a limited amount of time. But I guess I'd want to buy it for $30. I'd rather buy for $30 than rent for $20. That's a lot of money, though. Would I rather do that? I'm not sure. All right, so let's get to the next story of the day. All right. So the next story of the day is that some horror movies were greenlit today. Woo! Well, not greenlit, but their deals are moving ahead. I was just going to cover Hellraiser, but then I was like, oh, this should be a good story. And then I was like, oh, it's not that great a story. So I'll roll in this other horror headline. All right, so 2 horror projects, according to the Hollywood Reporter, are moving forward. So the first one is actually, we'll talk about the more exciting one, and that's actually Salem's Lot. I'm sorry, somebody's going to make it into, at this point, Stephen King is such a brand, people are going through his library with a fine-tooth comb. And they came up with Salem's Lot, which he wrote in 1975. James Wan is producing, and Roy Lee is producing as well. Roy Lee, who produced the It movies, and James Wan, of course, doing all the Conjuring films. So that's a really good horror combo. Now Gary Doberman wrote a lot of those Conjuring movies. I think he also wrote the It movies. So Gary Doberman is like the hottest name in horror writing right now. And he moved up to directing with Annabelle Comes Home, which I actually thought wasn't bad, but not only did okay, but I think he did a nice job. I think he did a pretty nice job. So that's nice. So he's now going to direct another movie, and that will be Salem's Lot. So what's Salem's Lot about? Well, what do you know? Surprise, surprise. Bye, Michael. Surprise, surprise. It's another movie about an author. Stephen King always writes about himself. Lloyd says it's very good. All right, that's good to know. Although that's right, Czech Film Fantastic just pointed that Dr. Sleep was a giant box office turd. So it was horrifyingly bad at the box office. So anyway, I don't think Gary Doberman's infallible by any means, but still, he's good. All right, so anyway, this is about an author who returns to his hometown to investigate and write a book about an abandoned mansion. Woo! But what do you know? Some weird guy from Europe who showed up in town. Shades of the new Dracula, by the way, that was over on Netflix. That was actually pretty good. It got real campy at the end, but I kind of liked it. But anyway, he's slowly turning the town into vampires. So this author has to join forces with a ragtag group of vampire hunters in town and take this guy on and kill and and save the town. That sounds okay. I mean, I don't know. Is it going to be highbrow or lowbrow? I think the casting all matters. Is it going to be comedic? It's really tough. But I don't know. If I can slap Stephen King's name on it, I'll make it, especially if it's for cheap. And I suspect it is for cheap. All right, then, yeah, they're doing Hellraiser again. And I love the quote from Spyglass. Spyglass Entertainment is a production company, and they're making it. And their quote is, this is my favorite thing, loyal yet evolved, right? So they're like, oh, this is kind of dated, but everybody knows who that pin face guy is. Even if they don't know the name Hellraiser, they know that visual image. So they're going to bring it back. And they hired David Bruckner to direct, who did Night House, which starred Rebecca Hall from Sundance. And nobody paid any attention to that. No one paid any attention to it at all. So I'm really surprised he got the gig. I think that's some of the most unexciting hiring I've ever heard. Way to be exciting when when everyone goes, we have a new Hellraiser, and you go, oh, that's great. Who's going to direct it? And they're like, David Bruckner, and you're like, I have no idea who that is. What do you do? And they go, Night House, and you go, I've never heard of Night House. And they're like, it starred Rebecca Hall at Sundance. And you're like, oh yeah, I remember one picture of that. Nobody talked about it, so whatever. So that's try and get a deal. See what you can do. Hollywood's a great town. If you have one credit to your name that is doing okay, you can get a Hellraiser movie. I mean, that's a brand. That's a brand. David Bruckner just lucked out. All right, so that's the second story of the day. Hold on. Let me move to the third. Now, the third story, my marker here today is fantastic. I'm doing everything right. Let's not make the marker oogling our stars here. All right, so Killing Eve was on last night. Last night was a rough night of television, boy. Whew! I finished the second half of the Ten Commandments, and I was like, this got kind of boring towards the end. I liked the beginning part better. Then I was like, oh, I feel unsatisfied, and it's coronavirus. I can't go out. I'm going to watch more TV. So I'm sad to say I then watched both Killing Eve and Westworld. And I thought they were both not great. I really didn't like Westworld. Michael Campbell, stop saying bye if you're not actually leaving. All right, so I watched Westworld, and I was like, it's pretty bad. It had some of the most unexciting action sequences I've ever seen that I was looking forward to. Not one, but two explosions in Westworld that I was really looking forward to from the trailers and the coming attractions from last week. And then that genre drug, I thought sucked all the excitement out of the whole episode. I was like, this drug sucks. I don't take recreational drugs, but that was not a good ad for them. I was like, this didn't add to anything. I couldn't really even tell what genres they were, except for maybe the black and white one. But then I was like, this isn't very well done. So I really didn't like Westworld, and I was like, I have no idea what's happening. I agree, Grismeyer. It's just bad. It's just very bad. But I'm going to finish it, because it's really hard for me to stop watching stuff. Anyway, then I watched Killing Eve. Now, I don't want to give anything away about Killing Eve. Natalia said the parental said Killing Eve was slow. I liked the end of Killing Eve. They actually made me gasp out loud. And I even knew it was coming. But they made it so sad and so well done. And the moment when you saw that thing happen, you were like, oh my God. It was just really good. It, to me, redeemed the entire episode. I still love Jodie Comer. I love everybody on the show. But I felt like it was a little bit too repetitive, and I don't think enough cool stuff happened. I'm excited for the next episode, though. I wish I could binge it. I'm not a big fan of not being able to binge stuff. I don't like having to wait for episode to episode. I mean, the end of episode 1 was like a total watch the next episode situation for Killing Eve. But I also think it's very interesting. This show is doing so much for how lesbians are depicted in any kind of entertainment, and it's not getting any attention for it. I think at this point, it's very much that type of show. And I think that's really interesting and unique for it. I think the last time something like this happened was probably The Legend of Korra. But The Legend of Korra only made that decision at the last minute, and then it was done. This show is very much about a lesbian love affair between these two women. And I like it. When I did Superbia, I had two gay characters. And I really wanted to show a soap opera-y relationship. Because, for a long time, all LGBT relationships were always depicted as wonderful. Ideal. But all relationships are messy and horrible, right? So I was like, I think that should be applied to LGBT situations. And so that's really great to see that here. But yeah, Killing Eve is I think a very interesting show, but I think that it's not the best episode out of the gate. That last 5 minutes really saved it. But it's good. Yes, yap them. They are. That's not a spoiler. It's what the whole first 2 episodes are about. Whole first 2 seasons. But like the way they opened this episode, I mean, like people should talk about it. It's kind of important. I do have some concern that the show is getting a little too female-centric overall. It needs to have more strong male characters. I think that's the only thing that I worry about. That's the only thing I worry about. Yeah, Fiona Shaw is great, Ari. Really, really good. All right, so those are the 3 stories of the day. All right, hold on. Let me get rid of the marker. All right, it's 5:30. You can ask me anything you'd like. We'll go till 5:45. I like talking to you guys. I made you wait today. I didn't do the call-in show. So you guys, we can talk until 5:45. So that's 15 minutes. You can ask me anything that you would like. Thomas, I'm not going to review Harley Quinn's Season 2, Episode 2 because not enough people are watching it, unfortunately. I feel really bad about that. I was going to cover it, but then I had all that great gossip to share with you, all that great tea on Friday. And so, I don't know, like even like this week, they gave me also next week's episode already. I already watched it. And Catwoman's on it, and I really liked Catwoman. Although, speaking of lesbian relationships, they're starting to ramp up the Poison Ivy and Harley situation, and I think it is working, actually. But so little happens that it's hard for me to cover it. Like, so little happens. Like, so little happens. I don't like the fact that I can't binge it. Karen says, how are you doing lately, Grace? I'm doing pretty good. I get stressed out, and I don't realize that I'm stressed out. Like the other night, when was it? Saturday night. I woke up in the middle of the night, and I realized that I had clenched myself into a little rage ball. And I was like, why? I don't even know what I'm upset about. And so to go back to sleep, I had to like just relax and force myself to calm down. And I didn't even know why I was angry. It was really an annoying, weird situation. But the weirdest thing that I'm having is that it's just very hard for me to keep a regular schedule. And I stay up too late, and I get up too late, and it's just difficult. I did see the new Wonder Woman 1984 Images Le Prince. I'm waiting for Thursday when the Empire magazine whole article comes out, and hopefully there's some cool stuff to cover there. Lucas says, Grace, do you think that the trailers released during quarantine will do well because people are thirsty for content? I think so, yeah. The only question is, I think nobody knows what their release date is anymore for sure. So that's a really, really big problem for them. So I think that's the issue. I think that's why they're like, should we release a Venom 2 trailer? Is it coming out in October? We don't know. But I sure would appreciate it from someone who covers content perspective. Luis, I think the next viewer call-in show will be on Sunday. I think we'll keep those to Sundays because I also want people to feel like they can have a chance to interact and get news stories. I think that's really important too. Let's see here. Chico says, which is your favorite and worst Disney princess outfits? Oh, that's tough. I like all the ball gowns. I really like the ball gowns a lot. I think the worst, I wish that Tiana had like more memorable outfits because I think that hurts her a little bit as a princess and I love her so much. I want her to get more attention. Fidel, it's not guaranteed that AMC's going to declare bankruptcy, but it looks really strong that they're going to declare bankruptcy. Wall Street's like, everybody get out now! And so when nobody has any confidence in your company and everyone's trying to sell their stock, that's a really bad situation. Anyone interested in buying a movie theater chain that's very dirty? I think AMC has some of the worst run theaters, unfortunately. Chris, I'm the one who said Ana de Armas should be Poison Ivy, but I think we're pretty far away from Poison Ivy showing up in a movie. Quinade, I wouldn't recast Mira. I'll make a video about it this week. Daniel, my thoughts on Quibi? It's too hard to navigate. I don't like that you can't see the view count. I mean, how many times on YouTube have you been like, I don't know if I should watch this video. How many people watched it? Let's check it out. That's a big part of, I think, what drives traffic on YouTube. I also saw someone point out that you can't take a screenshot of Quibi, which I think is not great because then how, as that person pointed out, how do you share on social media your favorite moment from the show? So I also was talking to another friend, and they pointed out that this is the time not for short content. This is the time for you need to kill 3 hours. Like, in fact, last night I made a list of really long movies I'd like to watch. I'm like, Shawshank Redemption. I like to watch Dr. Zhivago. Spartacus. I've been meaning to watch Spartacus for a long time, especially when Kirk Douglas died. But I was like, 3 hours? I can't watch that now. But this week I was like, this is the time. Alex says, what are your thoughts on the Marilyn Monroe movie on Netflix? That's the one with Ana de Armas. I think she looks pretty close to Marilyn, but I think it's always a double-edged sword to play Marilyn Monroe. She was like not only gorgeous, but she was a very good comedian who had very strong control over her image and brand. I mean, it was a role. She wasn't even actually like that in real life. And so it's tough to try and recapture that. Oh, Lisa, you didn't see Princess and the Frog? Do a watch-along? Maybe I will. We need a watch-along. And I've been trying to figure out what to do. And that's on Disney Plus, I think. It's either on Disney Plus. It's definitely on Netflix, so we could all watch it for free. Yes, Stefano, The Witcher is renewed and was just about to start filming, but then coronavirus. Collaborative Kiwi Studios. I don't think I'm going to do a review of Home Before Dark because it's too late, but I am planning to review the Chris Evans show. I hope they give us more than just one freaking episode. I think they like to give you 3 at first. Chris says, do you think Netflix should buy AMC? Oh, that'd be hilarious. There's a fox in the hen house. I don't know. I don't know if they want to be in the movie theater business. It's kind of like against everything they stand for, right? I don't know if they would make that purchase. Samir says, I just watched the whole Godfather trilogy. That's a great use of your time, although that third one, God bless you for watching it. Let's see here. Oh, I don't want to do super chats, Bazzolini. I appreciate it, but I feel like you're already paying for membership. I don't want to ask you to pay more. And also, some of those super chats, I would feel guilty asking you for like $20 for a comment. You know, I prefer this survival of the fittest. You know, Lord of the Flies chat going on instead. Oh, Queen Aid says, thoughts on Gaga's Gucci film with MGM. I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good role for her. I think it's an excellent role for her. I think Ridley Scott, not the greatest choice for an awards director, but let's see. I think the rest of the cast is going to be crucial in how she does. That's all going to be very important. And she has to kind of make up for, you know, I think a lot of people didn't like her campaigning. You know, if it just takes one person out of 100, now this became like a running gag in Hollywood. So she has to overcome that just a little bit, I think. Oh, Luis, I'm so glad I got you into Ozark. Lucas, Apple could buy anything. Apple's like, what do we feel like buying? Madeline says, for your video, what does Bob Iger being back mean? Well, Madeline, it means he was supposed to be in a back seat kind of position and letting Bob Chapek take the lead, but that's not working out. So Bob Iger just wants to make sure the company doesn't fall apart. So he's taking the lead. There's still 2 Bobs. He's still going to leave eventually, but not right now. Mika says, will Dune flop? We'll talk about that tomorrow. Luis, you're so thirsty. I gave you so much tea on Friday. I don't have any extra tea right now. It's only Monday. Where would this tea come from? Although I do sometimes get tea on the weekends. But I don't have any to share with you right now that I can share. Sometimes only I may drink the tea. No tea for you. Daniel's also enjoying Ozark. Oh, it's so good. My parents finished the other day, and they started out hating season 3. They were like, this is bad, Grace. Why'd you tell us to watch this? And then they were like, I was like, finish it! And they were like, okay. And so then, when it was ending, they did a complete 180, and they were like, we're so sad, there's no more Ozark. When is it coming back again? So it's a good show. Oh, Karen, Super Chat is where you have, anyone can chat, but you have to pay to get to the top of the chat. You stay longer at the top if you pay. So that works for some YouTubers, but I don't, you know, I don't personally feel comfortable with that business model. For moi. Snyder Cut and Joaquin tea. There's no Snyder Cut tea. I mean, I'm glad that he named it, but I haven't heard anything about it going any further than that right now. But, you know, I told you they're in talks, so now we're waiting for them to make those talks official. Steven, I am definitely going to review the Mortal Kombat animated movie. As I said at the beginning of the stream, I have a link to a screener. I'm hoping I can put it up on my TV, but no matter what size screen I have to watch it on, I will watch it this evening because I have a very busy day tomorrow, and I want to make sure I get it out at a reasonable time. Let's see here. Mikey says, what did you think of Billie Eilish's No Time to Die? Not much. because I don't think it registered with anybody. Nobody was like, oh, what a great song. I can't wait for the movie to come out. Everyone was like, eh. James says, what do I watch on YouTube? I really like How It Should Have Ended. I think they're really funny. In fact, I went to a YouTube event in California about a year or so ago at this point, and I sat next to the woman who works on that show. And she was really nice, and I really thought, I think they just do great work. Oh, Louis. Sorry, Louis. Or Louis. Sorry, Louis. So Zachariah says, do you think that HBO's Watchmen was unfairly treated? I'm assuming what you mean. Yeah, it's really unfortunate. I think that it became very political. It was very political out of the gate, and a lot of people unfortunately checked out, and for some reason didn't realize that Watchmen has always been political. But it was a really, really good show. It got particularly good towards the end. As I've told you myself, that the first like 2.5 episodes weren't great, but then it got so good. And like at the end you were like, this is the most brilliant thing I've ever seen. So it's unfortunate, and I think shows have to be constructed better, especially if you're not going to binge the show. People can like force themselves through like the first couple of episodes of a bingeable show because they're like, damn it, this was my weekend entertainment, I'm just going to keep going. But if they have to come back every week and you give them a week to go find something else to do, that's really not good. David says, what am I cooking tonight? I don't know. I made myself a big Easter dinner, and so I might not have any dinner this evening. I had a salami sandwich with carrots, mini carrots, baby carrots for lunch. Trying to make sure I stay healthy during quarantine. Fidel, I only watch Beverly Hills. And it comes back on Wednesday. I just taped it this morning so I wouldn't forget it. I'm very excited. I'm going to watch Mrs. America on Tuesday, which is a feminist show, and then I'm going to watch the antithesis of that on Wednesday, which is Real Housewives Beverly Hills. It'll be perfectly balanced, as all things should be. Thomas says, I know this is a super hard question, but do you prefer Watchmen or The Boys? Oh, that is super hard. I can't choose. They're both such different shows, and they're both peak superhero television, in my opinion. Steven says, Grace, who is your favorite obscure Batman villain? Ooh. I don't know. I have to think about that. Danger Ranger, Guilty Pleasure TV? Totally. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I'm watching it. I need to watch it. Sorry, Vanderpump. Barbie says, how do you think Kevin Feige can differentiate Namor from Aquaman? I don't think he will. I think he's like, doesn't care. He's like, oh, people like that, huh? Wait till you see me do it. Wait till you get a load of me. Kyle, I'm glad you also enjoy salami sandwiches. I get the total, like, no nitrates, no nitrates, you know, none of the bad stuff, all natural. It's very tasty. I'm actually giving up cheese while I'm on quarantine because I don't want to be unhealthy or too unhealthy. And I thought I'd miss it, but I don't. I have a good spicy mayonnaise, which makes up for it. I don't feel I need the cheese because it's just extra calories and fat. My favorite X-person rune, I really like Jean Grey. I love Emma Frost. I like the female X-Men quite a bit. And I like Cyclops. I'd love to see Cyclops get his respect. The Movie Lover says, who would you cast as Namor? That's apparently how you pronounce it. I guess I would cast, I saw some people say Luke Evans. I thought he was an excellent casting choice. People had some very good ideas. Thanks, Morris. Cheese is overrated, but I do like macaroni and cheese. But I make it with almond milk and fake butter. I actually broke down and got some milk, and I shouldn't have done that. But it's gone. I drank it all. It was delicious. But no more. Middle Kid 123, that's a great name. I would love for Disney to utilize their villains brand more. I think that would be a really great idea. Like, you know, people really like Villains Night at the theme parks. Like a Disney live-action villain thing would be great. They really messed up Jafar, though. Terry, I can't go outside in New York City. I think it's too scary and dangerous. So I have not gone outside since March 17th. Oh, it's 5:45. See, you guys are so entertaining. I love talking to you. All right, so anyway, we'll be back tomorrow, 4 p.m. stream. in the stream. The streams this week will be tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then take a break, and then starting up again on Sunday with the viewer call-in show. So thank you to everybody who became a member today, and everyone who is a member. Also, thank you to everybody who just tuned in. Oh, Jake, I feel so bad you just joined. Okay, Jake, if you can get a question in the next couple, like the next minute or so, I'll answer it. So anyway, yeah. So, but you know, there's lots of opportunities for you to call to interact. How do I get groceries, Roman? I haven't delivered. All right, I'm looking for Jake Oliver to write a question. Pressure's on, Jake Oliver. Let's see here. I'm just looking for Jake. Jake, if you want to wait till tomorrow, that's fine. But you can just say hi or something. Feel bad he just joined. I'm waiting. I'll give you another minute. You guys are all very nice. You guys are great. What a nice BTT community. Check Film Fantastic. You're not Jake. Jake, I'm so sorry that I wouldn't get to answer a question from you today, but I'll look for you tomorrow. And thank you very much for becoming a member. And also, I know it's tight, but people have tight budgets right now. So just even watching the videos and clicking on them is really greatly appreciated. All right, so everybody, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you, there'll be lots of videos going up, but we'll have another stream tomorrow at 4 p.m., hopefully 4 p.m.-ish, Eastern Standard Time. Oh, there we go. Oh, well, I'll wait to ask tomorrow. Oh, Jake, you're very nice. Welcome. Okay, bye, everybody. Bye, everybody.